Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's 6 a.m. Saturday, Saturday, the 10th of June. It wasn't a problem with the internet connection. It was just a problem with the link between my head and my mouth. It is pretty bloody cool outside. Still a bit cloudy. We've had a lot of rain here lately. On Wednesday, just gone, we had here at home, we had 36 mil of rain. And you might not think that's a lot, but to put that into perspective, our annual rainfall here is 300 mil. So things are a bit muddy and sloppy outside. That's why we haven't been taking too many photos of the stars, because I can't freaking see them. Anyway, let's just bring these comments, and there's none. So many people in here, Greg. I better bring Greg on so I'm not talking to nothingness. Good morning, good evening, Greg.
Good day.
I nearly said that. Demonetized.
Now the comments are rolling in.
There we go. A tripod. Oh, that's right. Because we're talking today about phone photography accessories, whether that's a physical device or it's an app or something that we haven't actually thought of. So thought of before today, I guess, and you think of it as an accessory. How are you, mate?
I'm not bad. Yourself?
Pretty bloody good. Besides being a little bit wet behind the ears outside there, it's pretty shite.
We'll be glad to take some of that rain, because we haven't had rain in about 3-4 weeks.
So for those that don't know, the northern half of America, I suppose, the eastern side, and Canada is all full of smoke at the moment.
Even on the west coast now too.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, British Columbia is
blowing. Ah, right. So we on our private chat with all the Facebook admins, I said it's an easy thing to fix. Everybody in the States and in Canada, just get Adobe Lightroom and hit that dehaze slider, slide it all the way down.
Yep.
Job's on. It's all fixed.
Yeah, we so you're talking about the fire smoke that's been just tormenting the northeastern United States and parts of Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as where I live, I'm kind of central Canada, I guess you could say, southwestern Ontario, near Toronto, about 2.5 hours northwest of Toronto, for anybody that's wondering where I am. We see a haze in the distance, and on the odd day you might even smell the smoke, but it hasn't been too bad. But it's been enough, though, like, to keep me off my bicycle. I was doing some bike rides and really doing well. I thought I did a 20K ride there on my third ride out, and I was just nailing it. But I won't ride as long as this air quality thing is an issue, because I do have sensitive lungs, and I don't want to end up with a lung infection or some stupid thing that might come out of that. But so that's what Shane's talking about, folks. It's not good. New York City was like an orange haze, and probably still is to some point. And what pisses me off is that these damn fires have been started by people for the most part, and I just like to smack them.
I don't know if everybody lost audio then, but what I heard from you was what really pisses me off then. Nothing.
Oh, really?
So I don't actually know what pisses you off.
It's the fact that these fires were started by people for the most part. For some stupid reason or another. I don't know.
Yep.
That's what I'm hearing. I mean, you know what? I can't say for 100% certainty that's what happened, but I'm pretty sure that's what's happening.
Well, I see on that group chat, Scott was saying that people burn tires and roll them down the hill. Is that fair income? Do people really do that?
I wouldn't be surprised. Wow. There's a lot of idiots out there.
Yeah. Take it out the back and give it a bit of a.
Well, yeah. But anyway, that's the nonsense that's going on around here, these parts of the world. And
yeah, right.
You know what really bothers me more than anything is the poor animals that die in these fires and stuff like that. So it's not good. But anyway, happier thoughts.
Yeah, that's right. It's interesting to see this happening right now, because here through summer in Australia, there's normally like half the freaking country burns. Where should we say? I'm not sure whether we're used to it. We're probably just a bit more calibrated to it, I suppose. And yeah, but tolerance is probably not the right word either. Everyone seems to be an armchair professional bloody climatologist when it comes to bushfires here. You've got the people who are old school and say that we used to burn off him. I remember that. We used to burn off the bush a lot when I was younger, and we don't seem to do that nearly as much as what we used to. We do hazard reduction burning, and so you'd burn it through the winter, get rid of all the the fuel, and then come summer when the bushfire season's there, didn't tend to burn as much.
Yeah.
But anyway, look, we move on to bigger and brighter things. Today we're talking about phone accessories.
Oh, I'm cooler than you are.
You are not. You are not. It was funny. So I use a program called Canva. I don't know if you're familiar with Canva. I may have spoken to you about
I've
Canva
used it.
Yep. So I use that for every thumbnail on every video. And for the live stream, I use exactly the same thumbnail, and I just modify it every time. I just change the heading. I might put some images and stuff behind there. But as I was doing it, I'm like, oh, I need some phone accessories to put behind our head sort of thing in the thumbnail. And as I'm scrolling through, I remember doing a video a while back talking about a course that I did online. It was like designed by Casey Neistat, and my thumbnail had those glasses with the paint and stuff all around them. And as I'm scrolling through Canva uploads, I went, oh, there's the sunglasses. What they look like on Greg. That works. I'll put it on me too. Dear. So I don't know how many accessories that you have, because for those who are watching this, we don't normally collaborate too hard before we actually do the live stream. We just
wing it.
Yeah, what will normally happen is because I'm a pretty freaking busy person normally through the week, and luckily Greg co-hosts this show more often than not these days. It's kind of turned into the dynamic duo. He'll say, "Hey, Shane, are we live streaming this week?" I'll go, "Oh, fuck, I think we should be. I better come up with something."
I'm your Siri.
You're my Siri. I'm so changing your name to Siri now.
Yeah.
But and then I'll go, what can we talk about that's not so freaking done to death on the channel? And I thought, well, we haven't really spoken. I've reviewed a lot of stuff in the last 12 months. Say I've watched David review a fair bit of stuff, and I watched Danny Black. I don't know if do you remember Danny Black? He came on the show one time. He's an Aussie. Well, actually, he's an American guy living in Australia. And Ralph. Yep, those two guys review a lot of like Ulanzi gear and things like that. And I thought, well, this is probably not a bad thing to do. The last video that I did was actually a review video. So I thought, why not? Let's just talk about phone photography gear. I'm going to say maybe 5 things. And I think the one that's going to come up all the time here, because of the sort of channel that I have, is going to be a tripod. That's going to come up a fair bit. That would be one of mine. That's definitely, that would be my top accessory, mainly because this one's just freaking awesome. I absolutely love this tripod. This is, I'll just find the logo for it so you all can see it. I use this one in videos a lot. You would have seen it. It's the Explorer Photo Video tripod. This one here is, it's got the, there it is up there. Greg's going to get his stuff. The Expedition Pro, X Pro. Very, very good tripod. It's very lightweight. It's incredibly strong. What do you use, mate?
My tripod, the brand is called Opus, and I don't know how popular that is, but what I wanted to show really was my pistol grip tripod head. So it's got a clamp on it.
Ah,
It's just like I think it's a ProMaster.
yep.
And I want to get a Ulanzi one. They're a lot nicer than this, I think. But this one does the trick for now. But this thing here, like, so it's got this gap here.
Yep.
And you can actually, if I can find the right spot, there we go. You can turn it sideways.
Yep.
But the nice thing about it is this pistol grip. You just squeeze it.
Yep.
And when you let go, it's locked. So it's really cool. I really like that tripod head, and I don't even know what kind it is.
So when you go,
what kind it is.
And like you're heading off into the bush, do you even have bush near you?
Oh, all kinds.
Okay. So as you're heading off there, do you like tilt the pistol grip so it's 90 degrees and walk instantly?
You know what? I just carry it by the legs. They're all three are covered with foam. So if it's even in the wintertime, it's not freezing my hands off.
Yep. There we go. Tripods are a tool. Absolutely. Favorite accessories, a Reflex 75. I reckon you're even going to say that one. We haven't spoken about this. I know he's going to talk about lenses.
Yeah, we have no idea what each other's going to say here. So
no. And we'll see who's cooler than who soon enough.
Yeah.
A tripod is a must. I think when it comes to a tripod with phones, in all honesty, it doesn't bloody matter. But when it comes to cameras, because tripods are weighted, like they're rated for, they're weight rated. So this is going to hold, I think, about 6 or 7 kilos. Like it's a hardcore tripod. It's a pretty heavy duty tripod. Whereas you may have seen some of the other stuff that I've used on the channel. It's really small. Some of the flexi bendy ones, they won't even hold a kilo, but they'll hold a phone just fine.
They'll hold the phone, but I find if the wind's blowing enough, you're shaking. You know, the phone's shaking in the wind.
Yep.
But mine's made for a big camera, so it's nice and sturdy. And the only time the phone might wobble in the wind is if the wind's blowing right directly at it. If it's going sideways, it'll just go right around it.
Yeah, sure. What's your number 2, mate? Tim Hortons?
Tim Hortons, yes. Those in Canada will know. Or even in the US.
iPhoneography podcast here.
Awesome. So I have recently got a case from Reflex. And this is all I carry now for all my stuff because it's holds everything in it. So I've got my filters. And then on the bottom part, I've got some lenses. That orange thing, that's a Bluetooth remote that came with my Struman optics lens. It's got my my case in there that I use for when I have the lenses on, and it's got. So I mean, I'm going all out right here, but I'll concentrate on these more later. But so my next one would be this here, my clip that holds my filters.
Just the filters, all right?
I mean, ideally, it would be better to have something that screws right on, or like that magnetic one that you showed one time that just snaps onto the case. What was that? Freewell? Yeah, that would be sweet. But this does the trick. So when I use this opening is just big enough to fit over the camera array on my 14 Pro Max just perfectly. So I take the case off when I use this. I go bareback, and then I use my filters on it, and I'll get into some. I'll just talk about 2 filters when I get back to my turn again. But so that's my next piece. So now you.
This would be my next one. It kind of goes with the tripod. That's this.
Oh yeah.
This is the phone holder. This is my favorite phone holder. Like when these guys, and these are things that I've been given. Actually, almost everything I'm going to show you is what I've been given. So this phone holder was sent by those Explorer guys, again, same company as the tripod, and they initially reached out to me to ask me to review the MagSafe phone holder for a tripod. And I said, yeah, for sure, let's do that. And I find, because I go from phone to phone on the channel, the MagSafe didn't work with the other phones like Pixels, etc. So you would use this one. So this one just stays on the phone, on the tripod now. It's all obviously metal. It locks down incredibly well. There's rubber on the insert rubber like through here, so the phone never gets scratched. It's just bloody perfect, absolutely perfect. It's already got the Arca Swiss mount in the bottom there, so it'll go straight onto the tripod. So that's all you need. That goes onto any Arca Swiss tripod. It's a ripper. Some other phone holders are designed, I think, more for, I should have prepared for this better and got other shit out of the box, but other ones have like hot shoes and stuff on top to hold lights and microphones and crap.
Oh, right.
Whereas, yeah, when we're just taking photos, you don't need any of that. It's just extra crap you got to take, extra bulk, I guess, on the device that you're using. So this would be definitely the second most common thing that I use. The tripod is the most. This is the second. And back to you.
All right.
Okay, so bring myself out of this while you're talking, and I'll go and.
Okay. So my next one is a filter, and make sure I grab the right one here. It is. So it's black mist. It's called. It's the black mist filter, and what it does is it really does a good job at diffusing light, especially when you're shooting photos at night. So I will take over the present part of this thing, and I will share my screen. And let's see here. Select window, and I will use this one. Okay, so you should be able to see that, folks. This is a photo I took one night with the black mist filter. And then I took the filter off and took another shot. And there's the difference. So if you look in this area here in the lower right corner where the lights are at this feed mill, you can see how harsh the lighting is without the filter. You put the filter on and it really softens the light. It softens everything in the image, really. But what really got me was how you could see there's a sign on the wall and behind this stack of feed here, and you can actually see what it says. Whereas without the filter, it's blown out. I mean, I could probably adjust for that in post, but what I like about that filter is it softens the right where the lights are, it softens them up. And while I'm at it, I took another shot of a tree in a parking lot, and this was without the filter. You could see it's a real harsh, light, and then you put the filter on, and it just softens it up and makes it glow, and it gives the highlighted areas in the scene a little more, just a little softer look. It's not so harsh. Actually, it lightens it up a little bit too. But anyway, so that's what the black mist filter does. And I really like it. I can't wait to try it some more and see what I could do with it.
Yep. This is what I was talking about before with so this is, what's this one? A sandmark one. And you can see, so on the top of the phone holder, it'll have this hot shoe mount to put a light or a microphone. And the same with like the Ulanzi ones here. Get that in focus. Think about it. It's thinking about it, but it doesn't want to think about it too much. There we go.
There it goes.
Ulanzi. And on top, it's got the hot shoe. The downside about these things is that you've still got to put a base plate onto both of them. So you'd have to put one of these onto this, then to put it on the tripod, whereas the one I was talking about before, it's already got that in there. So if you're buying a phone holder, and let's be honest, they all do the same bloody thing, I would definitely be getting one with that Arca Swiss mount in the actual piece. So it's one piece. Yeah. Much easier to use.
Yep, that makes good sense.
I like those filters. I was watching very carefully the sky behind that feed mill to see what the stars were doing between with the filter and without the filter, to see if the stars did anything different.
Well, on that note, I wasn't going to talk about this one because I haven't used it too much, but I do have a sky filter. What's it called?
Nightlight.
Oh, that's a neutral density. Okay, so I've got a few filters here, and these are reflex filters, by the way.
Yep.
Night sky, it's called night sky filter, and what it's supposed to do, I'm hoping it really helps with that typical iPhone thing where it really gets hot in the center of the frame.
Yep.
I'm hoping that it eliminates that to some degree, but it's supposed to get rid of some of the glow from light pollution.
Yeah,
and let the sky actually come through. I did try it once, but I just wasn't fussy with the result, so I'm not going to show them. But it was the same scene of the feed mill and with the sky in behind. But the other filter I wanted to talk about was a reflex filter, and it's my circular polarizer. So I'm going to hijack the screen again. Okay, you can see that?
Yep.
Okay, so that's a re-held shot, obviously, and that's just how it would look without the circular polarizer. Throw the filter on and do the same exact exposure and everything else, and there you go.
Yep.
I can't believe I've gone all these years without a circular polarizer. So that's why it goes everywhere with me now too.
Yeah, I remember when I went to New Zealand, and it was a photo trip. Like, I went there specifically, like it was an organized trip. Like, you paid to go on a photo tour or whatever, but it was like a week long. So every morning you'd be up at 3:00, hop in the car and the bus, and off we'd all go to a different location around the southern island of New Zealand. And the difference between what I was normally doing, because I hadn't really used polarizers that much, to be honest, because where I am here, not much really happens as far as the use of a polarizer. Sometimes with the cloud and stuff, for sure. But as soon as I got near that moving water, holy shit, it was like, where have you been? Where have you been?
Yep, it makes a big difference. Take care, Nicola. She said she's got to go.
Okay. Uru. Do you use that term, Uru?
What's that?
Uru. Do you say goodbye to people like that? Uru.
No, you should just see you later. Cheers. Bye.
Maybe that's just an Aussie thing. Uru or ure.
Yeah, maybe. Thanks, David. David Addison in the house.
Hey. Platypod. Have you heard of Platypod?
Yep.
They're not bad. I haven't used one, but from what I've seen, it's a bloody clever idea. If you're a backpacker or something, I think it'd be pretty bloody cool.
Yeah, they're great for macro setups.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Polar Pro Life Chaser case, grip and CP filter. Apart from a tripod, don't need anything else. That's fair game. I wonder how. Have you tried that polarizer with the native camera app? I'm curious how that would go.
I might have. Certainly not for like a long exposure shot or anything, but
yep. I see. David's only come here today to look at the beard. That's the only reason he's come. I'm cool. The next one I wanted to talk about was that. That was in the recent video.
Yes.
That thing is bloody awesome. It's one of these things that, when I review stuff here, I don't review stuff that often. And I remember David actually saying to me one time, "Oh, it's pretty clear. You review stuff sometimes that you just want because you want it." And I did. I to an extent, like if one or two people ask me in a comment, "What do you use for this?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, people want to know about this. I'll take your microphone and review it for you because I want one."
Yeah, sure.
But, this here, this wireless power bank, it's bloody awesome. It's something that you wouldn't have thought I'm going to go out and buy one of these things. I use this thing all the freaking time.
Now, is that
Even
the
on
higher
the
capacity one?
yeah, this is a 10,000 one,
Right.
but it's
The
small,
other
isn't
one's
it? It's
5,
like
I think.
that's right. But this here, I'll even use this as my wireless charger. Not just a power bank. Like you can plug the USB into here. So this is charging. Throw your phone on it, and it's a wireless charger sitting on your bench. You know, it's bloody
Nice.
awesome. It's I can't tell you how bloody good this is enough. It's just freaking awesome. Absolutely love it. Nothing else I can say about that. Because I used to go out and do the star trails and stuff with the regular power bank, like they're like 2 or 3 times the size of that. They're big at capacity though. And then you've got to work out how I'm going to hang that power bank still connected with the USB or the lightning cable to the phone and have it hanging somewhere so I can stay there all night. Whereas that thing will just sit there. It's bloody awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Manos. I thought he was taking a piss out of me then. Manos is actually someone here.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. Manos G. I don't know Manos. Do you know Manos? That's a name I haven't seen on here before.
No, I haven't seen him.
Cool. What's your next thing, man?
Next thing would be, I think Kathy Fitzherbert and I are kindred spirits here, but the reflex macro lens. 75 millimeter long range macro. My phone can. I'm using my 14 Pro Max as the camera, but anyway, it's one of my favorite lenses, and I might as well say the. No, actually, you know what? That's my telephoto. That's my telephoto that I really don't use a whole lot. But one of my favorite lenses is the reflex long range macro. You don't have to be right up close to your whatever you're taking a picture of. You can be like this far away or whatever, and right alongside that, and I'd say probably equally as like value to me is the Struman Optics one, which has the variable focus ring on it, where you can go this far away or you can be this far away. Both have amazing quality, so I mean I can't put one over the other really. And just you know me, macro.
If you've got a link to that lens, mate, there's someone here asking.
Oh, okay.
Macro, I need it. I'm sure you've got a link there.
Yep, I will find it and I will post it. I'll do that while you're talking about your next one.
I don't do I don't do a shitload with lenses. For what I do, it's if I can get more of the night sky on a wider aperture, I'm happy. And the shift cam stuff for me, and I think David found the same when he reviewed them, they're just so crystal clear. And that's all I can really say about that, to be honest. The next thing for me is something that I probably don't even talk about on the channel at all, really. And that's that. I use that for photography all the bloody time. All the time. I think I may have, I went looking after I spoke to you about, hey, we're going to do phone photography accessories. I went and had a look through videos. I hardly ever talk about this because I use it so bloody often for the iPhone, native iPhone camera. I use it just all the bloody time. Next generation lenses are coming.
Yeah.
He's trying to do his little emoji.
He's talking about the the Sandmark and Shift Cam. These guys that are making lenses that are made for these new cameras. Moment, and I hate to say it, but even reflex, they're using technology or designs that are made for older iPhones, to be honest with you. And some of them aren't as compatible. You could use them, you could still use them on the new iPhones, but with the telephoto, for example, you tend to get a little soft focus around the outsides, and you just can't get away from it. It just happens.
To be
So
fair, though, not everybody has the new iPhone, so
no,
it's
that's right.
there is absolutely a place for these things. It
Oh,
just
sure. Oh, yeah.
there's going to be a better solution for the brand
Yeah.
new ones.
Like
Yeah,
my 10s Max, they'll work really
10X,
good with that.
XS, 10S. What?
My 10s XS Max. Uh,
What about apps, mate? Oh, did you have
so,
more? Did you have more hardware that you want to talk about?
um, no, I think that's it.
We should
I
get
think,
David Addison on here again at some point.
yeah, we should. So
You
I
want to come
put
back on here, Dave?
I
Or do you
put
not want
a
to? You
link
talk too
in
much
the
shit.
chat in the YouTube chat, and I don't know why it's not popping in there yet.
I don't see it. You can post it in the bottom of that StreamYard link down the bottom there, and it'll appear because this is streaming
Oh,
to
yes.
YouTube and to Facebook.
Yeah, let me do that. Okay, so as far as apps go, um, and you mentioned earlier ones that are not really widely used. So I don't play around with editing a ton, but when I do,
Mhm.
sometimes I like to use stuff like lens distortion.
Yep.
If I want to add a funky
Yep.
effect or something like that.
Some grain
Um,
or sun flares or
yeah,
haze or
yeah,
something.
sun flares is fun to
Yep.
do. Um, or put the moon in front of clouds or something like that and post it to a certain group.
Wrong group, mate.
Yeah. Um, gosh, I mean, it's no secret I've got over 200 apps on my phone at any given
Yeah.
time, and there's a ton of them that are photography related. But you know, well, okay. Now I don't know how widely used this will be, but Pixel or not Pixelmator, but Photomator. They just come out
Mhm.
with a Mac app, and there's people out there that are dropping their Lightroom subscriptions since this come on the Mac. But um,
Oh.
oh yeah, it's pretty good. Like it's got masking and everything, but it's not. It's not cheap. It's well, I shouldn't say it's not cheap. If you want to buy it outright, you can buy it outright. You don't have to have a subscription. And like I paid like $100 or so to have it outright because I just didn't want to bother subscribing to it. And now I get all the updates going forward and everything else.
Mhm.
Um, but it's pretty good. It's
Oh, I
really
see.
good. And it integrates so well with the Photos app on the Mac. Which that's what I use for my photos. Everything goes to
Yeah.
iCloud, all that stuff. And all the stuff transfers right over to the iPhone. It just works like Photos.
Mhm.
And so I would say that's a good one. It's probably not widely used, but
Yeah.
it's a very powerful editing program.
Hmm. Does it catalog like Lightroom does? You know?
Um, I don't know. I don't think it does. But
Nope.
the one thing I learned about it on the Mac part anyway, I don't know about the iPhone. On the Mac side of it is that you can create a sidecar file so that any
Mhm.
edits you make are non-destructive to your original file,
Yep.
which is pretty cool.
Yep.
I don't imagine that's not part of the iOS side of it, but just the Mac one. But as far as what it looks like, is it just looks you'd think you're looking at your Photos app.
Okay.
It's all the folders and everything else, there's
Yep.
albums and all that stuff are there. So it's pretty cool.
I'll have to have a look at that. I'm looking at the website for it now. It looks pretty impressive. I'd have to You'd have to see for me and what I do with the other photography work that I do, the cataloging it's pretty important
Yeah.
for my workflow, you know. But
Oh yeah, for sure.
interesting. Interesting. Do you want to tell us what your blockbuster video is, David? I remember seeing something
Yes, inquiring minds want to know.
on Twitter, him saying something about it. It was like one of the best things he's edited, or something like that. I can't remember the exact wording of it.
Yeah,
And
I
and,
remember
and I
seeing that
remember
though. Yeah.
thinking some of the videos that I push out, and I think, fuck, that was the best video I've ever done. It gets like 300 views. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this thing?
Yeah.
And then other times I go out and go, oh, what can I shoot tonight? It's a pretty good sky. I'm going to go find something to shoot and just go out and shoot some random bloody thing, and it just goes off the
Yeah.
bloody rockers.
He ain't talking.
Ah, fine. No promotion for you.
So I got that
Dale,
link under my name there now for the reflex lenses.
why do I not?
Because you got a comment up there. Take the comment away and it'll show up. Bingo.
Oh, right. I got you. Will that work? I don't
Yep.
know if that'll work.
It's a bit.ly link. It'll take you right to.
I don't know if
No,
it'll work
that's-
off the screen as you do it. Can someone click on that and see if that works? Where
Oh,
that's
that
not
I
going
don't
to
know
work.
about that. I don't know about that.
Not sure.
I'll try putting it in the YouTube one again.
But you can on the side panel where you see the live chat here in StreamYard, down the bottom of that, you can post a comment there. That'll go across all platforms. Morning, lads. Hope you're well. Apps touch retouch. Of course, touch retouch to remove satellites from star trails. Don't you use even longer? It does that almost perfectly automatically. Almost. That's why I would always go to even longer for the star trails over pretty much everything, because it does that. iPhone uses screenshot and hot.
So I'm not signed into StreamYard. Maybe that's why I can't put a comment in there.
Don't know. iPhone uses screenshot and highlight via photos. Do you know what he's talking about there?
I'm not sure.
Not sure either. Imagine astrophotos app in your goggles and having them.
Yeah, can you imagine? You have to get a head clamp, not a phone clamp. So what Dale's saying is, if you screenshot when the link is showing, yeah, when the link is showing on the screen, screenshot it with your phone, and then you can be able to copy the link off the screenshot.
Yeah,
or maybe even click on it.
Just send me the just text me the link, mate, and I'll post it for you.
All right.
Here if it's your affiliate one, I assume. So here I am posting your affiliate links for you.
Yes, it is
to make money off my channel. Oh, that's gold. I want to see David do this. This is your idea, man. I want you to do it.
Yes, make a video about that.
Yeah.
And keep the whole video in real time, so we have to sit there and watch you go like this for hours.
I want you to live stream doing it. That's what I want to see.
That would be funny.
It would be. You just said, oh, you did say it. There you go. Bloody hell. I think that'll work.
Yeah, just right click on it and say copy.
Yeah.
So
I can't find it. Apps, mate.
Just for the hell of it, I put iOS 17 on my XS Max.
Yep.
And I've discovered something pretty cool. Mind you, okay, I heard about it on Twitter or wherever it was. In the camera app, if I can get my
We've entered the matrix here, folks. We've got two McMillans.
Yeah. Look at in the center of the screen, there's a level in the camera app.
Yep.
Yeah, you go too far, it goes away, but as soon as you get closer to the center, the level comes up. There, now it's in focus.
Right.
So that's something they've added in the camera app.
I can't help but think that every time I see something like this from Apple, every Android user on the planet is just going,
oh, I know.
That's so yesterday. Welcome to photography, Apple.
Yeah. I don't, it's the 90-90 rule. They want to please 90% of the people 90% of the time. Therefore, they are not going to come up with a pro camera app, not in the foreseeable future, in my opinion. I think they could, if they're going to call these pro iPhones pro, I think they could add a few more things in those. Like, I mean, sure, they give you features like macro,
Mm,
um, the extra lens, things like that. But
yeah.
why the heck can't they give you like manual control of your shutter and ISO and things like that, rather than just slide up and down the screen and hope for the best?
Yeah.
Or even a histogram, like
Yeah, true.
that's why I
Mm,
use reflex, because it has those things, and I just like to have a little more control of the camera.
mm. I understand that. I think it's just like as you said, 90% of the people, 90% of the time. For
Yeah,
me, and I think we've discussed this plenty of times. I will use that iPhone camera app for everything until it doesn't work the way I want it to work, which
yeah.
is which is rare. It's only when I want to do the long exposure stuff, really, that I'll go to another app. I can't think of any other reason. I think maybe when I've shot the moon a couple of times with telescopes and that, I've done that with a manual app. But other than that, I don't know. For me, it just works the way it's meant to work. Did they make a big deal? Because you guys obviously watched that um, the Apple event. Was it Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday,
Monday.
and Monday was it really? Um,
Tuesday for you, Monday for us.
oh, okay. But, did they make a big deal about that level in the camera?
They didn't even mention it.
Oh, okay. Well, that I feel better about that. Like, don't make a big deal about something that's so freaking basic and you should have done decades ago
Yeah.
or a
Oh,
decade
yeah.
ago. Yeah. Yes. So, any other apps that you wanted to talk about?
Um, well, Dale put in the chat touch retouch, but I think that's probably used a fair bit.
Yep.
But as far as photo apps goes, I mean, there's some good camera apps that are not widely used, like
Yeah,
Camera M, Camera Pixels. Reese Boyd uses Camera Pixels a lot.
he does.
Um, where is my? I know where everything is on my bloody 14 Pro Max, but on my old phone here, I got everything scattered all over the place. Okay, so for black and white, there's a good one that Mary Walker, she's a fantastic lady. She interviewed me on my own podcast for the very first episode to kind of show me the ropes of how to interview someone back when I
Yep.
was doing interviews. So if you ever
Yes.
want to know from her, she's on episode 1. And then I think I interviewed her on the second one or whatever. But anyway, she told me about one called Contrast. And that's the name of the app. And what it does is it
Oh,
shoots black and white.
yep.
I don't think you can adjust anything. I don't think you can adjust for exposure or anything, but it's a really good tool for getting you to see tones. And it's a very, so if you look across the tonal range, there's black and there's white. And then with this app, the stuff in between is a very short threshold. So you've got a little, the images that you get from it are pretty high contrast.
Yep.
Let me see. I'll see if I could take one here and then just hold it up. So let's see. Maybe my Tim Hortons cup. If I can get enough light on it. Because you can't even tap to focus. You can't even tap to focus because as soon as you tap the screen, I think it takes the picture. I'm just gonna
Oh,
take
okay.
a shot here. No, hopefully that took. Actually, there is a focus button. I think you can tap to focus or hit this focus button to focus the image. There it is. So it's very, very high contrast,
Okay. Oh, okay.
and
Yep.
it's a really fun one to play with if you want to do some black and white, um, with the high key and low key together and not much in between. It makes you see things differently if you play around with it long enough.
Yep.
So that's
Yep.
a fun one. That's a fun one. How
Okay.
much it costs? I have no idea. I've had it for probably 3 or 4 years now, so could even be free to
The
use. I don't know. I don't even know.
Yeah, fair enough. The one that I use, and I found myself using it a bit. Yeah. So we've got that the whole point of this thing growing was the second brand, which I think we've spoken about before, the Buck and Beard, buckandbeard.com.au. Just saying.
Do you ship worldwide?
Why the hell not? It'll get there eventually. I found myself using. I'm sure I've done a video on R&I film before.
Yeah, that was one I was looking at as I was scrolling through RNI Films. It's a good one.
It is, and I've used that for the socials for that branding. I'll put that on the screen. Just get rid of Dale's comment. So this is, what is this one? A beard balm. So that's the photo. This is the engine off my Harley, and I've just put the can there in the V. So I thought that's kind of manly, sort of thing. And then I thought I wanted to make this look a bit more vintage, and I thought, well, it's just a phone. It's just on socials. I don't need to go and throw it into Lightroom or Photoshop. And that's with a single
cool.
pass through R&I film. Yeah, I think that's just it's a one-stop vintage look.
And you looks a lot better.
I think it looks a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah.
It adds that dust. It adds the haze. It made it warmer. And all I did for this, because I photographed a heap of product on the bike like this, I just edited the one. And then the thing I like about this app is that then you can just save that edit and then paste it across every photo that you bring in. It's very clever. It's very quick. So if you do have your own business, or you're making social media for someone, and you're going for a similar sort of vintage Instamatic sort of Polaroid sort of images, this thing it's bloody quick, and it works really well.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of what Anil Dave does.
Yes.
He does a lot of product stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. With his Peter McKinnon look.
Yeah.
We only talking off. I have never ever used it. Topaz denoise. I haven't used it. I've seen a few of the people that I watch on YouTube use it. I haven't. That's interesting. Who do you watch? Who do you watch on YouTube, Greg?
Oh gosh, I watch. There's one guy, I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but the Shane Moston. I watch his videos.
Yep.
But Anil Dave.
Yep.
Gosh, Photo Tripper is hilarious. And the funny thing is, most of the ones I watch are not iPhone photographers, or they use traditional cameras. But Gavin Hardcastle, that's Photo Tripper. Adam Gibbs.
Adam Gibbs.
Yeah, that he's in a lot of the Photo Tripper videos. That's Uncle Grumpy.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And then there's Michael Shane Bloom. Well, Glenn Dewis, he's really good. He's doing a little more iPhone stuff now.
Yes.
Gosh, who else? Nigel Danson. Of course, David Addison. I always watch his when they come out.
At a stretch. This is why he won't come on.
Yeah. Oh gosh. There's probably a few more. I mean, there's others that I watch that are not photography related, like Zolotech. People like that. But
David Manning.
Pardon?
David Manning.
David Manning.
He does a lot of stuff with action cameras and that.
Oh yeah. And I watch Ralphie too. I watch Ralph.
Yeah, I watch Ralph. Mind you, I don't know why. So I only saw it this morning. I don't know why. I'm subscribed to Ralph. I've got the bell on for Ralph, but I never get alerted to Ralph. And I saw this morning that because he was talking about the platypus. You know what platypus are?
Yep.
Yep. They're incredibly shy creatures. That's really, really unheard of. Well, it's not unheard of, but it's very, very rare to see them in the wild. And
Yeah.
he took photos of one in the wild.
And
And
admittedly, I haven't watched that one yet, but it's on my list to watch.
well, I saw a photo of it on Instagram or something, and I'm like, dude, that's freaking epic. How did you manage to get a photo of a freaking platypus in the bush? And he's like, there's a video coming, and I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. And then I saw this morning, just before we went on here,
Yeah.
it's there, but it's days old. And I don't know why.
Yeah.
It
Weird.
didn't alert me. Yeah. Anyway, life goes on. We'll certainly watch it. What have we got here? You're getting a new iPhone 15. Well, I will, 100%. The thing with, I reckon the three of us discussed it. You, me, probably four of us actually. You, me, and Dave Square, the two Davids, Podner and Addison. I won't take the piss. And when from the 12 to the 13, I think we all kind of discussed it's not going to be that much of a difference. I don't know if it's worth doing it. And I did it purely for the channel. And I was really impressed with how much of a difference it made from the 12 to the 13 with the low light stuff. And that they marketed it a little bit, but it was the marketing for the 13 seemed to be more on other things on the phone, not so much the low light capabilities. But it was a massive difference, I thought.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking the same thing from the 13 to the 14. Do I do it or don't I? And I thought, but I'll do it anyway because it blows. Every time I do that, the channel blows a bit. And you can see it in my analytics. Every time I bring a new phone onto the channel, I'll go through like a month and get. That was you.
No, that was me. That's you. You got old horn set for a text alert or something.
Old school. So from the every time that I bring a new phone on, like on a month, on average, I'll get. On average, it's about 1,000 subscribers. Some months it'll be like 600. Some months it'll be 1,500. So let's just say 1,000 on average. When I put a new phone out, or a new phone comes out and I shoot a bit of Astro with that new phone, that month, I'll get like 6, 7, 8, sometimes 10,000 subscribers in a month because of the new phone. So for me, it makes that decision for the new iPhone 15, that little bit easier because I know it's going to pay for itself. But on the flip side of that, I've always been pleasantly surprised with how bloody good it is. I kind of sit in a foot in each camp with the Android and the iPhone going, fuck, it's not really worth upgrading this thing. It's not that bloody different. But when I actually get it, it is that different. And I am impressed by it. So yes, I would absolutely be getting that. I don't know. Would you be getting that too, mate? The 15?
Oh, I have to say no, probably because so what I do is I don't buy them through my carrier. If I did, I can get them, monthly amount added to my bill. I don't like to do that. So I buy them outright from Apple. And these darn things, my 14 Pro Max cost me like $1,900. So it's expensive. And I can't justify spending that much on another phone in a year. So I'm packing a little bit away every month or whatever to help go towards the new one when I do get it. So by next year, when the next one comes out, I'll probably have enough to almost buy it outright. So that really takes the pain away from buying a phone.
Yeah.
Now, Dave Podner, if it comes out with a 6 or a 10 times zoom, I think he'll be tempted, but he usually goes 3 years between phones. And he's on the 13 Pro now. So I don't want to speak for him because I can't be 100% sure, but if I know Dave, he's probably going to wait one more year again before he does. So if he does, him and I will likely get it at the same time on the 16. And but he might surprise me. I don't know. He might surprise me and go with it because I know that's his biggest complaint is the lack of a good zoom. So we'll see.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's the main thing. I'm not that fussed either way with the manual controls because there's so many apps out there that can do that for you, like Reflex. So the zoom, though, the telephoto's physical telephoto is what's really missing, I think.
Yeah.
I made the argument one time, how many people really use that? And then Patrika started pushing out his photos, like proving a point, if you like. And I was like, well, I'll stand corrected on that. That definitely has its place,
Oh,
Yes.
for sure. Yep.
I haven't heard of FIMO. Have you heard of FIMO? FIMO?
I think I have it. I don't know if I have it on my older phone.
Of course you have the bloody thing. You've got every app that says photo in the App Store you've got on your phone.
So it's bingo there. Okay, so it's got a download thing beside it, so it means it's probably either on my focus, you stupid thing. It's either on my 14 Pro Max, which I'm using for the camera right now, so I can't open it. Or I've had it at one point, but I think it's the if it's let me see, let me look on the App Store. I think it's the one that has film sims built in. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, old style film and things, stuff like that. So yeah, it's actually a fun one to play around with. Film roll, I don't think I've seen it before.
Okay. For the majority of iPhone or any other Macs, most use the Happy Snappers takings. So Greg knows that most people take sloping horizons. It pisses him off like nothing else. In fact, in that private group chat, I know it's happened a few times where we'll get a photo and just like move it, just post it there just to piss him off.
Yep.
Because he loves it so much. Lightroom has a denoise. Lightroom's always had denoising.
Oh, it won't work with DNG raw files produced by an Android phone. That's interesting.
Look at that. I don't know. Well, he would know.
Yeah. I believe he's on the S23 Ultra.
He is. And he's someone who takes photos that require denoising. Just going to make a note because I'm curious about that. I'm surprised that's the case. I don't disbelieve you there, Ron. I know you know what you're talking about. I'm just surprised that it's like that. Is there such a huge dip? Absolutely. Yes. I think certainly for the Astro, it's definitely better.
Oh yeah, it's definitely better for that.
Yeah, 100%.
Something that Dave Podner and I have talked about on the podcast before is he has the 13 Pro. I have the 14 Pro, both Max phones. And when the 14 Pro Max first came out, the big debate was, should I upgrade from the 13 Pro? And the general consensus was not really, unless you have a really compelling case to do so. And for Astro, I would say that'd be a compelling case. I went from the 12 Pro Max to the 14 Pro Max, and that was a pretty significant jump. But from the 13 Pro Max to the 14 Pro Max, it's a lot of money to spend for such a small upgrade. But like I say, if it's something really compelling, then yes, it's worth it. If you have the money to do it, sure. But yeah.
I think I even made that similar point when it first launched, that it wasn't a huge jump. For astrophotography, it is definitely a huge jump. When it first came out, it absolutely sucked a hard one. It was horrible.
Well, I remember that, yeah.
Then there was an upgrade, and I was bitterly disappointed. Like in my head, I had I was always going to do a montage when I created that video of me like deep in thought, like my channel's fucked. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
My whole niche has just fucking died. And then somewhere in the comments,
you were getting ready to send for the return package to just send it back to Apple.
Ready to get rid of all the Mac stuff and buy Windows. And then in the comments, someone's like, dude, upgrade your phone. There's an update that was released. I'm like, damn it. Why didn't I do that first? I did it. It was like, yeah, that's the shit. You use it differently. I don't know if you picked that up when I did that that video. I should probably do another video for this. It's just the weather's been shit. It's on iOS 16, you don't actually need to touch for focusing anymore, and that was what was screwing me up when I went out there and did it the second time.
Yeah.
Whereas before that, you had to. I don't think it was an iPhone 14 thing. I think it was an iOS 16 thing.
Yeah.
Whereas before, I'd have to find a bright star, touch on that to focus it, and then get the photo, and it wouldn't work. 90% of the time, without doing it, it wouldn't work.
Is there a scene optimization setting in the camera app on the iPhone? I think there is there not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
So it would realize that you're taking an astro shot probably, and obviously just focus in the distance. Would that be the case?
Probably. It probably focuses on multiple. Well, it has to be focusing on multiple points because you can do that. It's the best as far as foreground subjects go for astro. It must do that in one of the 3 photos or 4 photos that it takes. But I would say that it does. I know that the S20, the 21, 22, 23 has that scene optimization.
Yeah.
Pardon me. I'm almost certain that the iPhone has that. Someone's going to tell me here before. We've spoken about it. iPhone 15 Pro have USB charging. This is kind of like that level guide. It's like every Android uses them. It's outside.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so Colin would like to see film simulation with a bunch of presets built into the camera app, I'm assuming, or the Photos app. I'm assuming that's what he's talking about. You won't see it. There's too many apps out there that do it, and
Films doesn't
Apple's
right now.
Apple has some filters built into the camera app, and they're the same filters you can do in the Photos app for the editing, but they're not going to put a whole pile of film sim stuff in. I just can't see it.
Yeah, I agree. But that RNI Films that I was talking about just before, that's exactly what that app does. That's exactly it. Yeah.
And there's other apps too, but
100%.
So I have another thing about
I'll check it out, Ron. Sorry,
I have another thing about Photomator. It has a feature called super resolution, and I'm going to show you what it did with a shot that I took with the telephoto camera on Reheld. It was either yesterday or the day before, and this just blew my mind. So this is a shot taken at a river, and the water level used to be a lot higher where it would actually flow over these rocks in the foreground, but you can see all the grasses and the weeds and stuff that are drying out. So the telephoto camera can only do 12 megapixel, but super resolution, you activate that in Photomator and it bumps it up to 48 megapixel. And look at the detail from a handheld long exposure shot.
Yep.
It's
That's pretty cool.
Crazy good.
So this is similar to Camera Plus.
Yeah, it has a feature that does that. Now I did one on the desktop version of maybe it was Pixelmator Pro, and it actually took the image 3 times the size.
Is that right?
Yeah. It was crazy.
Interesting.
So the one that I just showed you was just on the phone app.
That alone would be worth that app if you were someone who was printing a lot.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Double dipping into the ad revenue with an update. 2 videos better than 1. Thanks, Apple.
He's talking if you did another video on the Astro and the 14 or something like that.
Oh, okay. Can I recommend a reasonably priced tripod? Pretty much any Ulanzi one will do what you're after. I'm not sure who it is because the Facebook thing didn't come through. I don't know who is actually commenting that, but I would say pretty much any Ulanzi tripod will do it. They're incredibly well priced. And just find one that's best suited to your needs. Like the ones with the flexible legs and stuff, I think is probably the most adaptable to your situation. You might say, well, I want it higher off the ground, find a light pole or a street sign or something like that, and just wrap around them. That works, or a tree. I think they're probably the go-to for all-rounder sort of tripods.
Christina Tremaine Arnett.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That's not a name that I've seen on here before.
No, me neither.
That's what I would look at. Anything on Ulanzi? Greg, any thoughts?
No, I'd have to agree.
Yep.
I mean, you could spend a ton of money or you could spend a little bit of money on a tripod. I would suggest spending not the least amount. You want to get something that's half decent and sturdy. But the Ulanzi ones, I haven't seen them or seen them in person, but I imagine they're nice and light. They're not too heavy, but yet sturdy.
Yeah. When you're looking at the tripods, especially from Ulanzi, a lot of them are desktop tripods. They're meant to sit here for live streaming and stuff. Don't get one of them. If you're not going to get one of the ones with the flexible legs, get ones that extend out, so it's going to be 4 foot tall sort of thing when it's fully extended, and then you can bring it all down to the height that you want it to be. They're going to be much more sturdy. I've had that many tripods come from Ulanzi that are just desktop ones, and I don't even review them because they're just shit for what I would want to use them for out in the field. Excuse me. So get the ones with the flexible legs that you can wrap onto fences and things like that, or ones that are going to extend out to like 4 foot. That'll be your best bet, I think.
Yeah. I'm going to jump back real quick to a comment that was made way back in the show. Don't bother looking for it, but it was just asking about filters for Samsung phones. You can use a clip like this, or maybe you have something that'd be even better, but you could use a clip like this on a Samsung phone as long as this space here is enough for the filter to reach the cameras. So,
and they're generally not big enough. Because the Samsung camera bump is freaking huge compared to the iPhone.
And the biggest downside to this is when you do put it on your phone, this part here will cover part of the screen. And I find when I'm shooting with reheld and I got a filter on, I have to, if I got the phone vertical, I have to turn it horizontal, let everything flip so I can hit the camera button to get back to the camera again.
Yeah.
After reviewing the picture.
Yes. Now
I just remembered that comment.
There is something coming to me shortly, which I'll review, and it's exactly what you're after. And I've reviewed other things from this manufacturer, and they've been on point for the iPhone, and they're sending me stuff for the S23 Ultra, and it'll work with the 21, 22
nice
as well. And it's specifically filters. So just cool your heels for a bit and wait. And then I'll be able to tell you. I don't want to tell you it's going to be awesome until I've got it. But the other stuff that they've sent me has been very good. I have no reason to think that this won't be very good. What's the best way to light paint? Best way I like to light paint. Depends on the phone. That's exactly why it depends on the phone, because Pixel's a shithouse for doing this. So with different phones and different way that you use those phones, the iPhone, for example, you'd put it on a tripod, take your photo, and you can sit there and strobe it a couple of times around the subject, and it will pick up every one of those strobes. Then you go with, say, the Samsung S23 Ultra in Astro mode and do exactly the same thing, and none of it will turn up. The same thing with the Pixel. You do that and strobe it a few times, and maybe a third of them will turn up. So the cameras like the S23 Ultra, the Pixel, that are doing the nighttime dedicated Astro modes, the way they're working is taking multiple photos, lots of them, and stacking them together. So as you're doing all this, as it's taking all these photos, it might be taking the exposure for the stars. You strobe down here, it doesn't pick it up. And then you wait for 4 minutes and your photo's got no light painting at all. The best way to light paint for those phones is continuous light, is to get a light panel, some sort of LED light, and have it as low as possible in the settings and light paint your subject that way. So if you're can you see that microphone here? No, you can't. If you're light painting my hand and your camera's sitting over here pointing back towards the hand, have a light sitting here. You might want to have a light sitting over here. You might even have one behind it shining up and lighting it from the back. But they've all got to be on constantly. And both of those systems, like the Astro mode on the S23 and 22 and 21 maybe, and the Pixel definitely, it will expose the stars properly, even though the lights on the ground would be overblown or blown out in any other camera system. It just works really well doing it that way. You've got to think a little bit differently about the way you do it. You'll get a good result. Have a look at the video I did. I think it was a car. I went camping, had the campfire there with the truck there, and the galactic core was there perfectly exposed with a campfire in front of it. That's the process that will get it working for you. It'll work. You just got to think differently about the way you do it. Hope that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she said, great tip. Thank you. No wonder my light painting wasn't working.
Beauty. Topaz, gigapixel. Okay. Look at this AI thing happening.
Yeah.
Works great for life. Okay, that's cool. Do you print many, Dale? I don't know if we've ever had that discussion. Because he does
now, Glenn Dewis took a shot with re-expose, a long exposure shot in black and white, and he did a video about this. He blew it up to 72 inches. So re-expose can only do a 12 megapixel, but he blew it up with gigapixel AI. He blew it up to 72 inches, and wow.
Yeah, right.
That's
cool. Really interesting. Gigapixel. I have to look at that. So I've been contemplating. So in our hometown, we have an art gallery here, and there's almost always an exhibition running. I've had 2 exhibitions in there, or 2 or 3. And the next thing that I do in there, if I ever do another one in there, in my head, it would only be with phone cameras, nothing else, just the phones. But I want to be able to print big enough that people, because that matters, I think. The size of the print adds to the wow factor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it sure does.
Yeah. Tons of canvas. I like that idea. Canvas is good for landscapes. I don't think it's good for astro. I don't know about star trails. I've never printed a star trail.
Yeah, anyway. I don't know. Even macro would look good on canvas.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I meant to bring it up earlier when we were talking about your lenses and stuff that you were talking about, is that people should go and have a look at what Greg had written about using a lens and not using a lens for macro photography, because the difference is huge. Yeah.
Oh, the video that I did. Yeah.
Was a video? It was a video.
Yeah.
Sorry. It was a video.
Yeah.
Yes.
That video, I did it. I sat down. I did it in one freaking take. That's why there's so many and it's just, I hate it. But I just wanted to do one. I wanted to get a video out there. So there it is.
The video that I did for this was done in one take.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're so much better at it than I am.
Oh, no, I'm fucking terrible at that. I mean, I had a rough idea of the scripting, and I set up the voice recorder here, this camera here, and I just spoke and went, that doesn't sound right. Hold on, just quickly read this. That's better. Blah, 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 blah. And when the editing comes along, it's just flawless. See, B-roll is just to hide your bad reading.
Mine could be cut in half if I took all the ums out of it.
Well, so that's how I would do it. And now that we're talking about video creation, I'm sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for Addison's video to launch.
Yes.
It's Blockbuster. I want to see it. We'll have a very quick look at some photos because there's some here that I think are just bloody amazing. And then we'll sign off because we've been going for this is a long one today.
Yeah.
Let me just share this. This is probably the best photo I've seen from a phone Astro ever. When you read his process,
amazing.
yeah. When you read his process of what he's done here, it's a lot of work, but the
Yep.
result is pretty bloody impressive. And he's this guy here, Aditya. I think that's how you. I'm not even going to try his last name. I'm just going to fuck it up.
Yeah.
But sorry, dude. That's not offensive or anything. It's just I can't read your bloody name. I'm not that good with that sort of stuff. But he obviously belongs to other Facebook groups that I belong to. There's a Nightscaper one that I belong to, and he posted this photo there. And this group is all people with a high-end high-end cameras doing astrophotography, and he's just fucking nailed it with this and posted it on there. And
That
so
is
many
so
people
cool.
go, no, it's impossible. No, it's impossible. Like, you fucking nuffs. It's absolutely possible. And this guy with his
Sure it is.
phone that he carries in his pocket has just blown your photos out of the water that you've spent, $5,000-$6,000 on your setup. And this bloke's done it with his phone.
So click on see more there where on the description to just give people an idea of what he did with it.
Yep.
So 20
So he's using
exposures?
50 seconds. Yep. 15 of them. He stacked them in 20-second exposures, 15 of them. So 15 photos at 20 seconds long. ISO 1600. When he has stacked these, that's what's helped get rid of that noise.
Yeah.
And this is
he did not use expert raw.
Yep. I think that and I don't know if Ron's still in here, but I've got a feel because I remember Ron putting up some photos of expert raw and pro mode raw, and my gut feeling I think Ron came to the same conclusions, but my gut feeling is that when you've got the ground like he has in this photo, when you've got the ground in the image, the regular camera mode is going to be the better option. I would absolutely agree with what he says here. I truly believe this is one of the best phones on the market to do this. He's just done it incredibly well.
I would put that on my wall.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. And this here was the other one I wanted to show. There's not something that we see on this channel, but he's edited this, I think, really well.
Yeah.
It's just cool. It's shopping carts, for fuck's sake, but it's cool.
I had to do a double take because I thought it was like a building or something. And
me too.
Looking up, right?
Yeah,
because there's buildings.
I thought, what the hell is that? Like, yeah, exactly. I was really impressed with that. And then some other bloke did a heap of like photos with water and stuff.
Oh yeah, I don't know who the heck would that be.
It's like it's all been done. It's been done to death. I don't know why you'd bother.
We have a lot of water.
I'm just jealous that I don't have any. And then the poppies.
Yeah, those are cool.
Patrika. Yeah, it's very cool. It's very cool. I tell you what, he lives in a bloody remarkable place, this fella.
He does.
He's got some magnificent things to take photos of, and he does it really well.
Yeah.
He does it really well. Any more we want to look at here? I've shown you the ones that I want to do. What the hell are they? What the hell is that?
A couple of people in spacesuits? I don't know.
Where's the post, Patrika? He didn't actually put what it was. Yeah, thanks, mate. I don't know. I don't know what that was. More water. Johnny, what a name. What a
Johnny Walker
name. Yeah. Because you got red hair. Because there's Johnny Walker Red.
Yeah.
Any more that you want to see here?
Okay, so the light's coming out of the tunnel. That's Reese Boyd. Right there.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a cool shot.
That's very cool.
Even longer, 13 seconds, light trails mode, neutral density, and a circular polarizer filter.
Yep. That makes sense. That's really cool. Ferris wheel. Selfies. Look at this. Look at this goose.
Yeah.
Oh. He always makes me laugh. Every time I see photos of him, I'm like, he's dressed up in all his running gear, taking photos. I'm like, are you running? But I wouldn't be surprised if he's halfway through a run on this photo and pulled over for an ice cream.
Well, actually, no, he was. I forget where he was, but because I've seen other pictures of that same time there. But no, he was just getting some ice cream and took a picture of him in the city, and he's got a lot of good photo ops there in Pittsburgh too, like with the bridges and all this stuff.
Yeah, he does take a good photo.
Yeah,
I just recognized him when I saw the glasses and everything. I thought, oh, I reckon that's Dave.
Oh yeah, and is that Ron Duvall who was in Niagara Falls?
Yes, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's the American.
Even for the photo of it all, but just the story of it is very cool.
Yeah,
and I think he's added all that together really nicely.
Well, he's filling part of our bucket list.
He is. So I'm almost there with what I want for this bucket list, and in my head, what I'm thinking is, just to get off this for a second, we'll wrap it up there. Actually, is there any other photos you want to look at or not?
Oh no, that's good.
Nope. So with the bucket list, what I'm thinking is, I'm still trying to. I've got more than 12 photos, and I only wanted 12. But we'll probably do it this week. I'll have something on Facebook this week, and what I'm thinking is, would all the photos that we pick, I'll get everyone to send them to me. So I can watermark them with their name, so they'll always have their name on that photo, just so they're all done exactly the same way. And then I'll put them, say, like on my website, and then everyone can just download them and go and print your own calendars through Snapfish or whatever. I don't want to use this as a money making exercise for me or you or anyone.
Right.
This is a community thing, And then every month we'll just change the header photo of the group to that photo, and but everyone will have the opportunity to take the photo of that location. I think that's probably the way to do it. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds good. It keeps the community aspect of everything going, and I like that. I like that idea. If people want to download them and make a calendar of their own, they can do that.
Yeah. Cool. All right, that's what we'll do then.
Sounds good.
That's where I was heading. And I'm glad that we're both on the same page. We hadn't discussed that at all.
No, not at all.
All right, man. It's time to get out of here and start my day. What time
Already.
is it? 25 past 7. Sarah's almost certainly awake. I can hear her doing something in the house somewhere. On a Friday night, before we live stream, I'll say, do you want me to wake you up in the morning? Because I wake her up every day. These days I'm awake at like 3 o'clock in the morning for sake, is doing my head in. But come normally at 5:30 is when I'll wake her up. And I said to her this last night, I said, and every Friday night before a live stream, do you want me to wake you up? She said, no, I'll hear you talking to Greg. Not running away. All right, man. I'll talk to you later. Thank you, everybody, for joining in.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.
Discussion.
Yeah, sure.
See you in
was.
2 weeks.
You bet.